From T.O. to below. From the block to the rock. It's BLK's Unsigned Hype with your Cold Spring cousin, DT.
It's 93.7 WBLK, with your Cold Spring cousin. I'm right here at WBLK, and on the phone lines, I have a very, 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 very special guest, a legend in the making, Dr. Benjamin Chavis. Did I say the last name right?
Yes, sir, brother, DT.
How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Give a shout out to all the brothers and sisters there. Actually, I'm down in Miami. We got a hip hop summit in Miami tomorrow, but I'm very pleased to talk to my brothers and sisters there in the city.
Well, I first want to congratulate you too. We both now joining the team of Swagg News.
Absolutely. Swagg News, Swagg Magazine, Swagg.com. It's the hottest hip hop site that's emerging on the global scene.
Yes, and it's taken off very quickly, and you can go to the anyone can go to the website and take a look at the team that they have assembled and see that it's got a lot of potential to be very, very huge, very, very fast. And
exactly. You know, hip hop is no longer just an American phenomenon. Hip hop is all over the world, and I think the idea of Swagg, Swagg News, Swagg.com, Swagg.tv, all the various outlets from the Swagg core element is going to be very good as we communicate across the world hip-hop at its best.
Well, Dr. Ben, before we get deep into the conversation, let me just, for my new viewers, my young viewers, those who might not know about you, let me give them just a little bit of information, and if I miss out and leave out anything, you could kind of add on. But for those who may not know who I'm talking to, Dr. Benjamin Chavis used to be executive director and CEO of the NAACP. You then became, not too long after that, I think you may have left that organization and became the national director and chief organizer for the Million Man March, working with Minister Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you and Russell Simmons started the Hip Hop Action Network, the Hip Hop Summit.
Right, the Hip Hop Summit Action Network. Russell Simmons and I co-founded the Hip Hop Summit Action Network in June of 2001. We've been rolling ever since.
Okay, and if for some of you younger people who really don't understand what's going on, you might have seen Dr. Ben in the movie Belly. He played the character that DMX was supposed to take out. Is that correct?
That's correct. I played my natural role in that movie. I played the role of the minister, and at the time, I was a minister. And, of course, DMX and I, Belly is a classic hip-hop movie. And that whole scene was written by Hype Williams, the great videographer, and the rest is history. So we're working on a Belly 2 now, in fact.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. You also did some work with Cassidy. You can be heard on his album.
Cassidy's album. I did the introduction to my man Jim Jones' album, right. The whole Dipset.
I seen you in the video on the Dipset. I kind of found that strange. I couldn't wait to find out the connection between you and Jim Jones, because I thought it was a good look to see you, around, rappers. That was a strange look.
Well, I don't just support and defend the culture. I'm immerse myself in the culture. So, in fact, right now I'm working on a joint with Jim Jones, Cassidy, and possibly Lil Wayne. It'll be out soon, called The Redemption Story.
Okay, and currently you're now down in Miami for the Hip Hop Summit. It's been going around the country or the world, or how far have you been traveling with this?
Well, internationally, we went into Canada, across the United States. The theme of this year's tour is Get Your Money Right, Financial Literacy, Financial Empowerment, the best of hip-hop and the best of financial advice. You got to teach young people how to stack the paper.
Right, and I can imagine that takes a little time to kind of explain, but if you can, in like a nutshell, what is like the number one piece of advice you give to young people who, as pertaining to that topic?
And the number one piece of advice is don't ruin your credit. Pay attention to your credit. Your FICO score, your credit score is just as important as your Social Security number. It'll last you for the rest of your life, so you got to protect it.
All right. Also, I guess in your works, you guys you've done a lot of work, you and Russ, with and excuse me for using the short names, but I've been
Yes, Russell Simmons.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, over the last 6 years, we have held over 70 summits in cities all over the United States, and I'd say also in Canada. And we also held a summit in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So, it's truly international. Hip-hop is a great cultural phenomenon. There are a lot of player haters on the culture out there, so we have to defend hip-hop from all the player haters.
Right, and working with the tell me a little bit about the registration, the voters registration that you do to try to get people aware of that.
Right, well, since 2004, we've been registering millions of young people. In 2004, we actually got 2 million new 18 to 35-year-olds to the polls. We're going to do the same thing in 2008, where hip-hop will make the critical difference. Hip-hop will choose who goes to the White House.
All right. I read that you're also working on a program with the public schools. city's public schools?
Absolutely. Most public school systems are underfunded, and we want to make sure that the public schools, that kids get a good chance at life. You got to get a good education. In order to get your money right, you got to get your education right.
Now, here's something I found really, really interesting is that you got a program, and I hope it's called a program, that's dealing with the break the cycle of incarceration. That was very interesting to me because I have a very large listenership of guys who are locked down in prisons around this area who can still receive our signals. So what could you say to those locked down and a little bit about that program that helps
Well,
them?
we fought hard. The Rockefeller drug laws were the worst mandatory minimum sentencing laws in America, and we fought hard, and finally we got to put a little dent in it. We continue to work. The point is that we're disproportionately incarcerated across America. New York was leading the way. So we felt if we could knock the New York law down, it'll knock the other mandatory minimum sentences down in other states. And we've made great progress, again, thanks to hip-hop. Hip-hop is a powerful cultural phenomenon, and the extent to which we harness that power for positive social change, we can make a real difference. So all the brothers up in the joint, I want them to know that they're not forgotten about. We got brothers and sisters out in the street. They're trying to open those prison cells up and keep brothers from getting those long sentences.
And then what about the children left behind?
Oh, no question about it. Whole families. When a person goes to prison, it's not just an individual going to prison. The whole family is impacted. And I spent most of the 1970s myself. This goes way back as a political prisoner in one of the Wilmington 10 down in North Carolina. So I know what it is to be in the joint, but I also know what it is not just to serve time, to make time serve you. You got to utilize that time for self-improvement, positive development, so when you do get out, you can make a positive contribution to society.